So the process of being born of God is to believe that Jesus is the Son of God. And when you believe that, God now declares you to be the child of God. So John chapter 1 verse 12, it says he came unto his own received him not. He said, but as many as received him, to them he gave the right to become the sons of God, even they that were born, that believed on his name. So you are seeing the protocol. It's not just something God declares. It's something we believe in that is possible. And then God declares it. And God does not even stop in declaring it. God now went further. In order to make it a reality, he now sends his spirit into us, so that we too will carry that DNA. If God declares it alone, it will be enough authority. But he didn't just declare it. In order for it to be a reality that you experience, he now sends his spirit into your life, so that you too carry God on your inside. So I believe that is possible because I believe it happened in Christ. God declares it because I believe it. And because God declares it, he now sends his spirit into my inside. And when his spirit came into my inside, the spirit began to cry, Abba Father. Romans 8:15. The spirit began to declare, Abba Father. The moment the spirit came, the spirit began to declare, bearing witness with our spirit, that truly we are the children of God. He said, for ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear. He said, but you have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba Father. Verse 16. He said, the spirit himself beareth witness with our spirits that we are the sons of God. So the reason we say we are of God is because God's spirit lives on our inside, and that spirit has merged with our spirit. 1 Corinthians 8:17 said, he that is joined to the Lord is one spirit with him. So we have become one with God. When you touch us, you touch God. When we speak, God speaks. When we show up, God show up. You can't separate us from God anymore. Our essence have become God's essence. Our spiritual substance have become spiritual substance. So we are of God, not just because God declared it. We are of God because we carry God's DNA. We carry God's essence. We carry God's spirit. And we are one with that spirit. We are one with him. Please, let this define you. See, when you go to pray, go with the consciousness that you are not just communing with God, but the God on your inside is communing with the God of heaven. It's a deep interaction. And when you confront crisis of life, don't just think you are confronting it with your knowledge, with your human connection. When you confront crisis, God confronts crisis. When you come into a challenge, God comes into that challenge. You must know that you carry God everywhere you go because you carry his essence. You heard the example I was giving in Australia about my son. Take that boy to the lab. If you remove his hair and do a DNA test, it will be 99.99% with my DNA. If you tear his skin and do a DNA test, it will be 99.99% with me. If you take his blood sample and do a DNA test, it will be 99.999% the same with my DNA. That means there's no part of him that is not me. It will be difficult to find any part of him that does not carry the signature of my DNA. That's the same way God made us. There's no aspect of you that will be taken out that God will not be found. Every aspect of you carries the essence of God. So when anything is happening to you, you must be rest assured that that thing is happening to God. And so if you cannot conquer God, it cannot conquer you. That's why he said, you are of God, little children, and you have overcome. This is the best way to fight through life. Most of us are fighting with things that can perish. We are fighting with things that can be destroyed. But there is an immutable thing that has been installed on your inside. God showed us it was possible by first of all doing it in Christ. We accepted it and believed it. So God did the same thing to us. So that when we show up, the same way Jesus represented Christ, we represent God. The first thing about a man of God is that he's of God. This is why sin can't dominate you. This is why crisis can't dominate you. You are of God. God can be conquered. God can be defeated. God can be confused. God cannot be overwhelmed. And so you cannot, because what powers you is God's DNA.